Thanks, Justin. I have to say I was a little shocked when earlier in the evening I got tapped on the shoulder to say a couple of words tonight. A, everybody that's spoken has had this beautiful British accent, and I'm from a small town in Kentucky. But B, this time last year, I had no idea what Gigi's Playhouse was. Hell, I didn't know what Down syndrome was. A couple weeks after my son was born, I got a call from my brother, and he said, let's go check out this Playhouse in Midtown. I thought one of two things. I thought, well, it's either a place for my son or new gentlemen's clubs come to town. I had a 2-week-old at home. He was screaming, crying. I was getting 2 hours of sleep. I said, I'm in either way. I was going. But I got to tell you, standing here tonight, I can honestly say it has truly changed my life and my family's life. Gigi's Playhouse has. I vividly remember a day back in September of 2010. My wife is 4.5 months pregnant. We were on our family vacation in Hilton Head Island. It was one of those days, not a cloud in the sky. It was the Zach Brown song all over again, you know, but toes in the water, ass in the sand, and I guarantee there was a Miller Lite somewhere close to my hand. My wife looks over at me and she says, honey, our son is fine. Our boy is going to be fine. I looked at my wife and I didn't quite understand what she was saying, but if you know my wife, that happens quite a bit. I have to ask again, what the hell are you talking about? She had just gotten off the phone. She said, I just talked to our doctor, got our lab results back. Our boy is going to be fine. He's fine. All the lab results came back great. I didn't know what we were getting tested for. I didn't know what the alternative was going to be. But I was excited. Hell, that's great news. We sat there and we celebrated, we laughed, we talked about all the trivial things that expectant parents talk about. Wonder what his hair color is going to be, who his friends are going to be, what's his voice going to be like, who's he going to, you know, Casey's worried about, well, is his, you know, bed skirt going to match the drapes in the nursery and all this stuff. So we're thinking about all that stuff, having a great time, so happy. 5 months later, we're right down the road, loading up in the car, headed to the hospital. It was only a 2-mile drive, but it felt like 200. That car was full of everything my wife packs, along with all the hopes, the dreams, the expectations that any new parent has. You know, we were thinking of everything. I was scared to death. She was scared for delivery. I was wondering, how the hell are we going to pay for this kid? We've got formula, we've got diapers, much less college and everything else. I was scared to death. 8 hours later, we were sitting in a small room, and a 75-year-old geneticist was telling us what Down syndrome was. That car that was full of hope and full of dreams and full of expectations. She was explaining to us, and in her view, and that's probably the way Down syndrome has been in the past. I don't look at it, I don't care about it, I don't even know what it is. And she was telling us, you know, your son here, Will, he may be okay. He may get a job. There's some great you know, guys that carry my groceries out. There's some people that are doing great things today. That didn't feel right to me. It didn't feel right to me. Each and every word that she said, all those hopes, those dreams, each word she said, those hopes and dreams went out the window. I was thinking, God, all of those good times we've had for the last 9 months, each and every word, they were going out the window. I was worried. I was worried about my son that has my name. He's the fourth. I was, you know, it was, this poor kid's going to work so hard his whole life. And I was worried. And selfishly, I was worried for us. I was worried, are we going to be independent? Is my son going to live with us our whole life? And I thought about that. And that night, we laid in our hospital bed together, and I give my wife so much credit. We decided there's only one thing to do here, and that's we suck it up, and we're going to give our son the best. We don't believe that. We're going to give our son the best that we can, the best that's out there. And he's going to prove everybody wrong. And we did it. And the very next day, we went out and we were on the internet. We were looking up therapists. We were looking up doctors, and we were looking up everybody, and we had them come to our house, and we had therapists come, and they did a great job. That they said, yeah, we typically see this, but Will has Down syndrome, so we're not going to push him too hard. And our doctor said, I've got a few kids with Down syndrome, but yeah, it looks normal, but he has Down syndrome, so we won't even look into it. That didn't feel right to us. That didn't sound right. It didn't look right. It didn't feel right. It wasn't us. It wasn't our son. We knew there was a different way. But for 2 months, we lived in that just scary network of doctors, therapists, everybody. I mean, it's a very complex network, and if you haven't been there, it's very hard to explain. We felt like we were on a rowboat in the middle of the ocean. We could see the lights on the horizon. We knew there was land out there, but we didn't know which way to go. We didn't know if we were in the right boat. We didn't know what ocean we were in. But we knew it was out there. We just had to find it. And we knew that what we were doing at the time, we had therapists at our house 2 days a week. We were going to see our pediatrician. We were going to see specialists. But we knew, even though we thought we were giving our kids the best we could, we knew. This is our first child. We knew something wasn't right. We're missing something. We knew we were in that boat, and we knew we could get there. But what we were doing, the way we were paddling, it wasn't the right direction until we found GiGi's Playhouse. And I tell you tonight, I truly tell you, it has changed my life. It is not, I found out it was not a gentleman's club, by the way. But I can tell you, it truly changed our life. I mean, the first time we pulled up, if you've ever been to the Playhouse here in Atlanta, it's a beautiful, Halpern did a great job with this center. When you come in, you park about, for free by the way, you park about 6 feet below where the Playhouse is. So it looks down on you like you have arrived. It looks at you. And I had that little feeling when we pulled up. I was like, I think this may be it. And we got in there, and I opened that door, and what I saw, it wasn't earth-shattering. It wasn't something different. It was normal. I saw 2 kids, they were playing with each other. I saw a kid building buildings with blocks. I saw a kid painting a painting on an easel. I saw kids getting tutored. I saw kids in therapy. I saw kids out in the classroom. It was amazing. And what I saw in there was hope. I saw what was packed in my car when we were scared to death driving the north side. I saw that. And when it went out the window at the hospital, I found where it went. It went to this small little building in Midtown. It was filled with it. I saw kids doing everything. I saw kids getting in trouble, throwing blocks. Their parents are saying, "What the hell are you doing?" We talked about this. I saw what happens every day in each and every home around the country. And it was hope. I was like, it was amazing. And then I look across the room, and what did I see? I saw parents talking and networking and sharing, saying, "Do you know Sharon Wexler? Do you know Becky McCullough? Do you know Allison? do you know these therapists and doctors, and sharing the amazing network that we've been trying to navigate for 2 months and being just lost. And most importantly, what I saw them do was laugh. I hadn't laughed in 3 months. And I felt like I grew 3 inches that night because the weight came off my shoulders. It was unbelievable. And here I am standing there going, oh my God, this is amazing. This is for my son. This is for me. This is for my family. I'm jealous, and I'm not telling anybody about it. This is my place. I don't want anybody else to find out about this hidden secret. And it stayed that way for a few weeks. And it was great. And I thought, wow, what a resource. What a great place for Atlanta, for families with Down syndrome. But then I realized I was the one that was wrong. It wasn't a place for, and you're probably all here tonight and you see these beautiful faces on your tables and you think this is a place for the children. It's not. It's not for children. It's not for our families. It's for the community. I had our volunteers who spend so much time at the Playhouse. They spend so much time and they give so much. They go through training. They go through everything to spend their time with our kiddos. And what they did, one of them came up to me and she said, well, each and every time we're there, they thank us. And I never figured that out. I'm like, God, they're volunteering their Saturday during football season to play with my son, and you're thanking me? But then one of our volunteers walked up to me and she said, I had to stay 2 weeks away from GiGi's, and it broke my heart. She goes, I lost hope. She said, there are so many great opportunities in Atlanta to donate time to spend your Saturday with. You can build homes for the underprivileged. You can serve meals to the homeless. You can do all of these things, and you feel great, and it's a great cause, and Atlanta has so many great opportunities. But where else can you donate your time where at an early age you're changing someone's life that will be because of what you do, you're changing the way they eat, the way they breathe, the way they learn, and that you're giving them the opportunity later in life to be able to teach, to be able to be doctors, to be able to do things. And not only that, you're changing perceptions. You're changing what doctors prescribe. A lot of doctors say Down syndrome. I don't know what that is. That's what people thought of when my 70-year-old geneticist said, yeah, he may get a job. I don't know what that is. I don't care what that is. That's what that was. That's not what these volunteers are doing. So that made me really look at GiGi's Playhouse, and it made me think, I don't have to hide it from anyone. It's not for me. It's not for my son. It's for these volunteers. It's for our community. Atlanta is so lucky to have this. Mayor Reed said it tonight. We're so lucky to have this for our community because it changes perceptions. It changes everything. It's amazing. So I've spent way more time than what I was allotted tonight. And before I get the hook, I have to say, if each of you look at the back of your program tonight, my son and my beautiful wife are on there. And today, 7 hours ago, my son celebrated his first birthday. And as he was smashing that cake and tasting sugar for the first time and his eyes lighting up and my dog licking all of the food and all of the, screaming and clapping and crying and doing all the things that normal 1-year-olds do. When he was doing that, I was instantly transformed back to that day. Toes in the water, ass in the sand. And my wife looking at me saying, our baby is fine. And he is fine because of each and every one of you tonight. And when you write those checks for sponsorships or you write those checks for auction items, Put in the memo line, put hope, because that's what you're buying. You're bringing that hope, not to Zach Markwell, not to Will Markwell, not to the Down syndrome community. You're bringing hope back to Atlanta and our whole community. So I thank each and every one of you tonight. It's a true pleasure from me and from my family and from Gigi's. It's unbelievable. We owe everything to you and our volunteers, and I can't thank you enough.